Hey everyone, I am back with another video, and in this video we're going to go over my prep for Inktober. The very first part of my prep started in this lovely sketchbook. It is made by Pentalic, and it is the first of the Pentalic brand that I've ever used. And of course, adorned upon it is one of my stickers. You can find it in my shop. Okay, so what I decided to do, if you did not see my other Inktober video, I talk a little bit more about my theme and everything over in that video, so check it out if you want to. But this is just kind of an overview about exactly what I did to prepare, because it did take me quite a bit of time. So once Inktober listed their official prompt list, I think that was like the very beginning of September. I went ahead and I wrote down all of the words in a list so I would have it with me. Now what I thought was I could write on the side of it of different song titles and lyrics and the bands with it, but it got to be very cramped after a while. So I decided to change up my format, and instead it ended up looking a lot like this for all 31 days. So the first step that I did was I went ahead and numbered and put the prompt in the upper left hand corner on all 31 pages. And then it took me about 3 to 4 days, but I went through lyrics.com and I entered in the word and then found as many lyrics that spoke to me that I could for each prompt. And I told myself between 2 and 5 lyrics for each word. Some were easier than others. I will admit there are a few where I could really only find like 1 or 2, but I tried my hardest, and yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with my lyrics and my song choices so far. Well, so far I'm finished, but so after I did that on every single page, I just found the lyrics first. I created a Spotify list while I was going so I could have all of the songs in one place, and that really helped me while I was kind of trying to pick out the lyrics to the songs, because I did want some cohesive feeling with a lot of the songs, not with all of them per se, because I wanted to add like different bits and things here and there, a little bit of variation, but the overall theme, I kind of wanted it to be somewhat simple. And so that's when I went through and listened to all of the songs that I had found, and kind of at random parts I would just close my eyes and even think if I could visualize something that would go along with the song. So for the first day, I ended up finding 2 different songs that I really enjoyed, and one was more abstract and the other one was a little bit more visually in your face. So I decided to go ahead and make stars next to the lyrics that I found, and then I went ahead and thumbnailed everything out using the lyrics, using the song as inspiration, etc. So there was actually one where I combined both ideas, but I was like, you know what, I just need to make a decision and stick with it. So what I did decide was the song by Elephant Revival, which is called Ring Around the Moon. And I decided to go on a literal interpretation of it. The song itself has a lot of layers to it, a lot of kind of mystical and supernatural layers to it, because a lot of people do feel like when there is a ring around the moon, it's kind of like a, well, supernatural type of thing. So I could have gone that route, but I decided to go for the first drawing a little bit more literal. And yes, and so that's why there's that little flower next to it. But I ended up doing that for every single day. I don't want to show you everything because I want to keep some of these things a surprise, or some of these things for my frame of minds. But I figured showing you the first day would be a really good way of starting this off, and just to kind of give you an idea of the amount of work it took to do this. So after I thumbnailed everything out, I went online and I found different reference photos that I could piece together in Photoshop and use for, well, references. Some of them are very, very layered, and some of them are just like one image and that's it. But I decided that I needed to have all of the days laid out for my sanity. So I wasn't trying to think of something the day of. And then that's what gets us into my next sketchbook. So I'll put that over here. Oops, I'll put that over here. And this is the sketchbook that I talked about in my other Inktober video. This is the Global Art Materials sketchbook that I'm going to be using to draw all of my drawings in. And I actually recreated my logo. This was just kind of done to like have a spot filler. I recreated my logo, but it doesn't fit yet. So I think I'm gonna cut out like something else to put behind it, and it can kind of stack up on top of itself. But I really like how this turned out. So this is going to be my logo for the entire month. So I'll just put that here as we continue to talk. Okay, I decided that I wasn't going to just use ink for all the drawings. The ink is going to be the primary focus because I wanted to stay somewhat true to the challenge itself. But I also decided that it just wasn't in the cards for me to only use ink. I wanted to play with my watercolors a lot more, and I wanted to experiment only using certain colors throughout the entire month, and to be able to use those and figure out different ways of layering them and working with them. That is also a challenge within itself. I created quite a few challenges for me this month. But this is basically what my underpainting looks like. Obviously there are a lot of things that I need to add on top of it drawing wise, but I have the basic shape of where the moon's going to be. I have where the ring is going to be as well. And yeah, it just makes it easier for me for the day of to be able to look at this and draw instead of looking at it, planning and drawing at that point. I've only gotten through day 5 with stuff like this, but I plan to kind of, you know, do it by weeks. So I'll have the first 7 done by tomorrow. And then I'll figure out a time next week, or this week, to be able to do the next 7, etc. And that's kind of how I have planned out all of my stuff. Now, if you want to see a list of the materials that I'm using, that is also in the other video, so be sure to check that out. But I really hope that you enjoyed my explanation on how I prepared for this Inktober. It was a lot. It took me pretty much the entire month of September to do it. And I actually saw someone's comment on the official Inktober Instagram where it said, well, if October is Inktober, then September is Preptember. And I laughed at that so hard because that's pretty much all I've been doing. September is prepping for Inktober. So I'm really excited to get new content out for y'all. I'm really excited to share in all my ideas. I hope it doesn't get boring or a little stagnant for you. But yeah, this has been really exciting for me to work up towards, and I'm really excited to share with you. I hope you all have a very nice rest of your day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.